is brought into motion by force, by applying some force. Or if we take up a ball, a moving object, somebody kicked the ball and it is rolling on the ground. And if we want to stop that motion, we will hold it with the hand. Okay, so either we can bring a stationary object into motion or stop a moving object. So that can be done with the help of force. That is the effect of force. Another effect will be speed can be slowed down. When you ride a bicycle, you know how to reduce the speed. If you don't idle, obviously after some time the speed will be lowered. The next effect is direction changing. If you are riding a bicycle, you want to change the direction of the bicycle, you will have to apply force, isn't it? With your hand and change the handle direction, then only the cycle will turn into a turning. So direction can be changed, that is also effect of force. And lastly, effect of force will be changing the shape and size of some object. Shape of an object can be changed. The best known example is of the dough, atta, okay, which your mother is cooking in the morning daily. She is making a dough, a ball of flour, wheat flour, and then clay also. Yes, and when she put it on the platform and use a roller, it is flat chapati is being made. Or you make idol of Ganesh or any other thing that you like with the help of clay model. So there you are changing the shape. All these are the effects of force. These are very important to remember. Because of force, what all thing can happen. Okay, but now this is the board. I am pushing it. I am applying a lot of force. Will the board or this wall move apart? Is it going to get pushed? If a friend is standing beside you and you push, dhakka diya, they will fall down and move back. But will this board or the wall move from one place to another? No. So you see, where there is no effect is seen even after applying the force. Effect is not seen. Effect is not seen after applying force. There we will say that work is not done. Work hua hi nahi. Okay? So that will come after later. First of all, we will see after effects of force, what is friction? Out of these many force types, contact and non-contact. In contact, we have seen muscular. In contact, we can say frictional or statistical. In non-contact, we have gravitational or magnetic. But these are the types of forces, that is the effect of force. Out of all these forces, only one type of force, that is frictional force, is the type of force which opposes motion, which is opposing the motion of any object. Okay? Always opposes motion. Frictional force always opposes motion. If there is any moving object, without any application of the force to stop it, slowly the speed will be less, and after that it will come to a stop. You have seen a ball rolling on the ground. Even if nobody stopped it, After some time it will stop. That is occurring because of the friction between the ground. This is the ground full of grass and this is the ball. Okay, when it rolls over the ground, after some time, it will stop. This is a moving ball. But after some time, without any force applied, it will stop. It will not keep on rolling till somebody come and hold it or stop it. After some time, automatically it is going to stop. Why this is going to happen? Because the surface of the ball and the surface of the ground, two surfaces are coming in contact with each other, and that their frictional force is created, and friction is created, and friction reduces the speed first and finally stops the moving object. Okay? Did you get that? So, next thing, there is an activity given to you on page number 261. This is very important part of your science 1. And if this basic thing is not understood beta, you will not be getting what will be coming up in the higher classes. So base should be clear. So about force, every time you have to be very perfect. Okay? We have to do an activity. Sit on the floor some distance away from your friend and roll a ball towards him or her. Ask the partner to stop the rolling ball. What can be seen? The rolling ball on the ground in some direction so that there is no obstacle in the path of the ball. What do you observe after a while? Did the ball stop rolling after moving some distance? Obviously, after moving some distance, the ball, even if nobody else stops, it is going to stop. And here, which forces are being coming into force, coming into action? That is your frictional force. It is opposing motion and it stops the moving object. Another activity is of pushing the table. If I stop pushing, it will stop automatically because the legs of the table will rub against the floor of the room and their friction is happening. Even when we walk on the floor, nowadays we have very fine tiles in your homes, but when we walk on it, we don't fall down immediately. We don't slip. Why? Because there is a friction between our feet, the lower backside of our feet, which is rubbing against the floor. Okay? Frictional force is working there. And if you take up a lens and see how many fine the tiles and shiny tiles you have in your home, when you observe with a lens, you can find that there are small holes. There are small holes in the floor, and when we walk, our feet have friction with them, and then it is possible that we don't fall. Otherwise, we'll fall down if there is no friction between our feet and the floor. You please send your friends to school if they cannot open the link. Whatever problem will be solved by Tushar sir only. Next, a ball. rolling on the floor stops after some time without the application of any identifiable or apparent force. Even if nobody stops that ball, after some time the ball is going to stop. Okay. If we push a book on the surface of the table, the table is a big one, and I just threw the book. What will happen? It will slide a small distance, and after that it is going to stop. And heavy box or a heavy piece of furniture does not move. If we apply a small force, we have to apply more and more force. Here you see, hence we see that things are in motion against surface tend to slow down and stop after some time. So whatever moving on this earth, on any object, will slowly come to a resting position, stop position. Similarly, stationary objects kept on a surface do not move. If a small force is applied on it, we have to apply more force. Friction is a force that acts between two surfaces. For friction, always what do we need is two surfaces. What is necessary? Two surfaces. If there are no two surfaces, no friction will be seen. Okay? It is a natural force that comes into play whenever two surfaces move or tend to move with respect to one another. When two surfaces rub along each other, then only we see the frictional force. In machine also, have you seen a watch opening it? There are small wheels, and you must have seen interlocking. Two small wheels, they are having friction with each other and they are moving according to 1 minute, according to 1 second, according to 1 hour. Slowly they are rubbing, two wheels rubbing along each other. Frictional force is working everywhere. Even when we walk on the floor, there is frictional force. Even on the feet and your hand, palm, you must be seeing there are certain lines that give more friction and you don't slip. Now, if I hold any object in my hand, I won't slip it down because there is a frictional force between the surface of the object and my hand, isn't it? It will not fall down immediately because of frictional force between two surfaces. So you see, though this frictional force always opposes motion, then and then also it is a very important force. Without this force on this earth, everything would have been very horrible. If I kick the ball, it will keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. And page number is 262. Sahil. It will not stop. It will move around the world. Whole of the earth, it will keep on moving if somebody not stop it. In that case, what will happen? Things will keep on moving on this earth if nobody stop them. So naturally stopping force for any moving object is the frictional force, and that is also very important force. If this force will not be there, we also would have not been able to walk on the floor. We would fall down by slipping all the time. Then we'll have to crawl or slide like a snake, isn't it? So, for instance, page number 262, second paragraph. instance, one example you can see on in the diagram 17.2. Can you see? A box is there, a big box, and a man is pushing it, trying to push it. Okay, a man is pushing a heavy box by applying a force on it towards the left. In the left direction I am pushing it, okay, or this man. As the man pushes the box, a force acting in the opposite direction of the motion of the box is exerted by the ground. The box is kept on, and what is happening? The ground and the surface, lower surface of this box is having friction. This is the ground and this is the lower surface of the box, and it is a heavy box. Okay, these two surfaces are having friction with each other. That is opposing motion. If we are applying force in this direction, I'm pushing it in this direction, but this friction between the ground and the base of the box is not allowing easy movement in that direction, even after my forcing it to push, isn't it? This opposing force is frictional force. This opposing force is what? Frictional force. This opposing force is frictional force which opposes the motion of the object and tend to stop or slow it down. Either it is stopping the motion of the box, or at least speed is less. Speed will be less. Therefore, we can say that the direction of frictional force acting between two surfaces is always opposite to the direction of externally applied force. It is always opposing the externally applied. This force I am applying from outside, but this frictional force is opposing it. You can see opposite direction of both the forces, and that's why more efforts are needed if we want to move that box. So the magnitude, the size of a box frictional force acting between two surfaces can be either equal to or less than the magnitude of the applied force. In fourth chapter, I think we all have already seen which force is acting in opposite direction, which force acting, and then how that is nullified. If the force I am applying and the weight of the box is also equal, then I cannot move. I will have to use more force than the magnitude of this frictional force. Then and only I can move the object. And as we know that force is measured in Newton, capital N. Newton is the unit to measure force. Okay, in first chapter we all have seen. In the first term you had that chapter. So equal force is there, then I cannot move that object. If my force is more, then I can move that object. If more force than the frictional force I am applying. So on that basis, we can say that the force is balanced or unbalanced force. Force is a balanced one or unbalanced force. Now, balanced and unbalanced force. If force acting on an object from two opposite sides, the movement of the object depends on the magnitude of the greater force. For example, when we push a heavy object with a force of 20 Newton from both the sides, the object will not move at all. If equal force is there, it will be a balanced one and the object will not move. It is because the force applied from opposite side are equal or balanced, and the resultant force will be this minus this, that is 0. If say the weight of this box is this frictional force is 10 Newton and I am applying 10 Newton force. So resultant force will be 10 minus 10, that is 0 Newton. In that case, I will not be able to move that object. If 0 Newton force is there, and you see always unit Newton we are going to write in capital N. In your terminal papers, I found out many of you wrote small n, which is wrong. If the unit you are writing is Newton and n for Newton it is, and n should be capital only. Okay? So in this your book also, the examples of the boxes are given. You can see 20N force is opposed by 20N force, so there the resultant is 0 again, and the box will not be moving from its place. Then in this case the forces are balanced. In your 17.3 figure, the resultant force is 0. Therefore, what is there? Balanced force. These are the balanced forces. And if we push an object with 20 Newton from one side and 30 Newton from the other side. Now, the frictional force is 10, and if I push this with 20 Newton force, what will happen? The object will move in this direction because the force I am applying is more than the frictional force. This is unbalanced force. The object will move in the opposite direction of more Newton force. Okay? Yeah, so it is unbalanced force. The both forces are unbalanced and object moves in the direction of the force which is greater in magnitude. Which are greater in number, that force will be more effective. If the frictional force is 20 Newton, if the magnitude of the box is 20 and I am applying only 10 Newton force, in that case the box will not move again. Okay, I cannot move the box. It is because the frictional force, the force that is giving a magnitude of the box will be more. Okay. Then, what are the causes of friction? Friction होता भी क्यों है? That we need to understand. Balanced and balanced is okay, but why this is happening? Let us try to understand. We touch, suppose, the bottom of a book. Does it feel smooth or rough? Any surface, any book. Now this book surface I can feel very smooth with my hand, isn't it? Top of table, it is little rough than the book. It is smooth or rough? Rough only. Will you probably find that these things are smooth to touch or rough to touch with the help of our palm? Many things that we see and use in our everyday life, such as book, table, our floor on which we walk, the utensils that we use in the kitchen, bartan, may feel smooth to us upon touching. However, if we observe them with the help of a lens or see under the microscope, the surface of these objects are not really smooth. There are certain ditches and holes in them. Okay, they are not completely smooth. There are also holes, small holes, which we cannot see with the eyes, or we cannot even much feel with the hand. However, at microscopic level, the surface of these objects are not really smooth. If we look at the surface of a table or a floor through a microscope, we will find that these surfaces are irregular or rough, we can say. These irregularities on the surface of different objects result into friction. Underline this. What is resulting into friction? The irregularities in the surface. Now the ground and this box, there is also irregularities in the surface. They are not very smooth. Otherwise the object will move very easily. So, when two surfaces come in contact with each other, the irregularities present on the surfaces of these objects interlock with each other. You know interlocking. Now, take the ground surface. If we closely observe the floor of our house or ground surface, they are irregular like this. And the base of this heavy box will also interlock like this. This is the microscopic view. Okay, and you see the base of the box is interlocking with each other, and that's creating more and more friction in this area. Okay, because the more the rough surface, it will be more frictional. You see where irregularities word is written on page number 263, second last paragraph. Irregularities present on the surface of the object interlock with each other. एक दूसरे में इंटरलॉक हो जाते हैं, and which one of the surface move or tries to move with respect to the other, the interlocks between the surfaces resist the motion. Resist means opposes the motion. ये इंटरलॉकिंग जो है दो सरफेस के बीच में, that is opposing motion. Are you getting? This resistance gives rise to friction, and that is frictional force coming into play, acting there. Okay? With naked eyes we see that it is very smooth, but when we see with the help of a lens, we find that there are irregularities and both the surfaces are interlocking. When we walk on the floor, the lower side, feet of our leg, okay, the skin is interlocking with the holes of the floor tiles or floor of our home, and that holds us from falling. Okay, we don't fall or slip down. Now suppose if I am trying to walk on the very smooth tiles in my home, that time I am not falling because there are small irregularities, but water has been spilled on the floor. पानी गिरा हुआ है फर्श पे, and I am trying to walk in a hurry. What will happen? I will slip on that water and fall down. Why this will happen? Because the floor, whatever regularities are there, that is पानी से ये गड्ढे भर चुके हैं फर्श के, and I will slip and I will fall down. Are you understanding? Yeah. Because the irregularities in the floor. This is the floor of our house. It will be covered with at 11:10. I told you your first period will be from 10:30 to 11:10. 11:10 तक. Okay, Sahil? You see the new timetable. So I hope you understood about the irregularities on the floor that is helping in creating friction and helping us in our certain activities and falling down also. Next is the force acting on an object can be measured by an instrument called spring balance. If I will show you one spring balance. If you have at home, you can also show me on the screen. Spring balance. You can see in the picture 17.5 green box on page 263. Spring balance is there. With the help of that, we can see how much force we have to apply and how much force we have to apply to pull or pull any object. Smooth, powdered, oily or water spilled surfaces or polished surfaces. You must have seen near your mirror when you apply talcum powder on your body, some powder falls on the floor. That floor becomes very slippery. Sometimes you slip, or where you polish your shoes, the shoe polish falls on the floor, and that also covers the irregularities of the floor and you can slip from that place very easily. Or oil also or water also. Highly polished surfaces have less microscopic irregularities as compared to other surfaces. This is why the friction becomes less in these surfaces. This is the reason why we tend to slip on wet floor or our feet experiences less friction as compared to friction experienced on a dry floor. On the other hand, surfaces that seem rough to touch, such as a sandpaper and the surface of the ground covered with grass, you will not slip, have many microscopic irregularities, and this is why the friction on this surface is greater than the friction on regular surfaces. This is why a ball rolls less on a ground covered with grass or stone as compared to a smooth surface that is our house floor. Okay? Yeah. In bathroom tiles also we can slip very easily because water is spilled over there. That's why we use matte effect tiles for our toilets and bathrooms, isn't it? So that there will be more friction. Stairs also. If the floor is smooth, we can slip and fall down. For that purpose, we need to apply matte effect tiles or rough surfaces we'll have to make. Okay then, time is up. You have your